You're listening to This Week in Property. Stay current, relevant and up to date in the world of property investment. Learn from the UK's leading property professionals and grow your property business.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Property. I'm your host Richard Swan and you are going to love today's show because I certainly love recording it, let me tell you. I sat down with the one and only, the inimitable Mr. Davy Hutton. A man known for many things, the introvert with the extrovert appearance, half man, half pirate. Very successful businessman and entrepreneur, although there's a wee joke around that word that we go into. Long career with property developments. Took that to a level where he bought, developed, and now owns and runs and rents out a beautiful castle. Runs and fronts the very successful quick sale property business. And he's very well known in that regard because he's got some hilarious adverts that are always on the radio up here in bonnie Scotland. So there's quite a few listeners down in England and elsewhere in the world who might not know Davy, but through hearing this you'll certainly come to grow and love him, so you will. And with Davy, well, what can I say? There's always a chat. We actually chatted for, it was something between 2.5 to 3 hours. Now don't worry, this particular podcast, I've taken out segments because I wanted to talk to him about a specific theme. But when you chat to Davy, the time just stops. You go where the conversation flows. And we covered everything. We covered absolutely everything. And there will be a future show released that will go into all the other stuff we spoke about with regards to, oh my goodness, the economy, Theresa May, Donald Trump, the market, business, life in general, bucket lists, some funny experiences in Europe, rugby trips, a story around a cannabis birthday present that he's never revealed before, the pub that he used to own. I mean, just a ton of things, a ton of lovely, funny, insightful, fascinating, wonderful things. But this show, I wanted to bring Davy in to talk about the subject of giving. Because not only has he become very famous with all the business success and the online and radio auctions and what have you success, you know, the kind of celebrity stardom that follows him about, but he's also well known for the charity Finding Your Feet. It's a charity that's been set up and it's fronted and managed by his sister Corinne, and we go into the full story of what that's all about and Corinne's own story in that regard. Because I wanted to talk to him about charity, about philanthropy, about giving, because if we're going to be doing business, that's great, let's make it successful, let's generate money, let's solve people's problems, let's help other people around us. But how can we really help other people, not just with what we're doing and the services we offer and the skills that we can give to other people, but how can we help them alongside what we're doing, in parallel to what we're doing, or after what we're doing? Maybe we've got a plan that we want to generate a very large, successful stockpile of money, and then like a Bill Gates or like a Warren Buffett, then give it all away, a foundation. Is that something that's driving you? But how do we go about that? What's the best way? What kind of things should we consider? Should we personalise the charity or the giving that we do? Is it all about money, or can it be about time? Is there certain specific ways we can connect deeply with other people around us, whether it's a one-on-one experience or a one-to group or even a one-to gigantic well-known charity foundation? And as usual, Davy did not disappoint. He didn't hold back. He offered all of his honest opinions and experiences and life lessons and insights. And honestly, he'll take you on a journey. You know what was missing? There was one thing missing. I wish that instead of one of the meeting rooms inside ALG offices, I wish this chat had been recorded in a beautiful, quiet little pub somewhere with a roaring fire and the two of us sitting with a couple of pints of Guinness, because that's how relaxed it was, that's how fun it was, and I loved it to bits, as I always do. So we will get into a ton of things, and I'm sure you'll definitely enjoy it. There's a little theme that runs through it, talking about The Girl in the Red Coat, which comes from the famous Steven Spielberg film Schindler's List, something that's had a massive impact on Davy's life. And we get into a whole host of stories and connections and experiences around a lady from Auschwitz and that connection with Davy, and how it carries him forward and how he deals with other people and how he views life. So, without further ado, this first of several episodes, Mr. Davy Hutton. Good morning, Davy.
Morning, Richard, how are you?
Great to see you. But let me change this, right? I'm going to put on my threatening Scottish accent. I want a word with you, big man. Right, there you go, we're off and running.
You threaten all you like, Richard. You're still 5'3".
You're still... Oh, yeah, cheeky smudgy.
Kind of angry wee man.
An angry wee man syndrome. You caused a stir in my family home last night. I need
Did she tell you about that?
Oh, yes, right, yeah, that's right. It's worse. It's my daughters.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going through the routine. Each 3 daughters, they go to bed at a different time. Done the wee one, she's sorted. Then it's the middle one, Cara, 9 years old. Blaring away, doing the usual stuff. Just I like to wind them down, wee bit of quality time. What you doing tomorrow, Dad? Says, guess what, Cara? Want to see the guy I'm meeting tomorrow, baby? We're going to have fun tomorrow. Oh, what's that? I'm meeting and talking with a pirate from a castle. Well, my God, her eyes just lit up like saucers. She's a really creative type.
You're only saying it because it's true.
Exactly. So this caused 2 problems, because she then stayed up bloody late asking everything about you, wanting to see some photos. Will he be kind of dressed like a wee bit? Aye, well, usually most of the time. I'm showing her pictures for Facebook. Oh, wow. Well, that was it. She was off and running. She says,
Of course, not a pirate. How do you get the castle?
Exactly, that's how you get the castle. She was asking about a ship, by the way. I didn't know how to answer that. Actually, I'll need to ask him if he's got a boat. I don't know. There's a pirate without a ship could be a problem, let's be honest.
I'm retired for that.
Have you got a dinghy at least? Can I give her something to chew on?
I'm blessed with being able to walk on water, so...
You cheat. So, 2 problems. She's a creative one, loves dressing up and all this kind of stuff. She's, well, if Davy's kind of like a pirate, what are you going to do? She says, well, Paul McFadden's my boss. I need to be,
I think I'll stick the V-neck on.
She says, I can't carry off what Davy would do anyway. I couldn't carry off his wardrobe. She says, right, I'll give you one thing, Dad.
This is the thing. I struggle to carry off your wardrobe, but we are all different.
We are all different, correct. Well, look, that's in your honour.
Oh.
She painted my nail. This is.
So you said she hit you with a hammer.
From Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the finger. What is it called? The fingernail of death or something they call it. So one pinky for the listeners. One pinky is painted black. So she did that. That's man.
Just assumed you'd shut it in the car door.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? But even better, you're going to love this.
You know that stuff doesn't come off, Richard, eh?
You're worried. She then sat up the wee bosom and drew you this.
Oh, how lovely.
So listeners, I've just passed Davy a wee picture. My daughter's drawn this. It's amazing, actually.
Wait, you just
see, 9 years old.
9, I'm really impressed. If you said she was 27 or something.
No. So there you go.
That's excellent.
A beautiful wee picture. I know your pirate gear for one of the pictures I took. And then she's drawn your castle in the background as well.
Well, thank you very much, Cara. I will put that in a frame and put it on my wall.
There you go.
And send your dad a picture of it hanging on my wall.
Fantastic. So there you go. That's I'd say they would actually show her this recording later on as well, because his Davy will love that to bits.
There's another thing, it is pretty well known. I've got a number in my arm.
Yes.
19880. And years ago I was doing television stuff, and the idea behind it at the time was a little bit like Who Do You Think You Are, the genealogy programme just now. If everybody adopted one number and found out who that person was, nobody dies for no reason.
Yeah.
So 19880 was a girl called inimitable who died in Auschwitz.
You picked one hell of a hard name, by the way. Every time I hear that story, it's like you don't find like a Peggy Smith or something.
Well, see, I prefer the story to
Fair enough.
There wasn't many Peggy Smiths went to Auschwitz.
Exactly. Bad choice.
So inimitable tried to escape. I'll cut the story short, but she's worth a Google for anybody that's listening.
Yep.
19880, you'll get it from that. She tried to escape, got caught, and as an example, they were going to hang her and her boyfriend in front of the crowd to dissuade anybody else from doing it. And she worked as an interpreter in the hospital, so she didn't have her head shaved. and she'd hidden in her hair razor blades. When it came to hang her, she slapped the SS guy, and she slit the veins on the inside of her elbow, which is where the tattoo is that I have here.
Is that why you place it there? That was another part I wondered about.
Well, no, it's kind of a little bit more spooky than that. I knew that was the story for a long time, and I'd never got a tattoo to commemorate it. And then I detached my bicep muscle playing rugby. When I tackle a guy, I didn't get my arm bent the wrong way, and it just pings it off and up around your shoulder.
Right.
So obviously you can't see this, people listening, but I can certainly show Richard.
Oh, jeez.
I've got a big scar down my arm.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like two scars with a gap in the middle, right at the elbow, and it was a kind of sign to me that because I was wrestling with her to get the tattoo. You go through that kind of thing of, is it in bad taste or not?
Yeah.
And another thing, just to digress for a second, anxiety is about knowing that 90% what you're trying to do is right, and 10% telling you that it's wrong, and that 10% magnifying and eating the 90%.
Right.
Because that's what stops people doing things. They get anxious about it.
Put that, right, okay. I'm going to remember that.
The amount of people that have said to me, I thought about doing the Howard Inn, I thought about doing Log Castle, I thought about starting an auction company. Why didn't you?
So the 10% ate them.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what happens with everybody. They can't control the 10%. So the 10% magnifies and increases its importance, and it stops you. It just makes you rigid. It makes you freeze.
Yeah.
And that's what actually does make you freeze, is anxiety, if you think about it. Anyway, Mala Zimmerbomb slapped the SS guy, got blood all over him. He took the hump. She actually shouted to the crowd, better to live one day as a hero than live your entire life as a dog.
Sure.
Decided not to hang her and to burn her alive in the crematorium. She actually died in a wheelbarrow on the way to the crematorium.
Ah, right, okay.
Now, I duly go ahead and get the tattoo, and I'm over for Scotland Island in a Temple bar, one of the bars over there, mobbed.
Yeah.
And I meet a girl from Aberdeen. Now, I had virtually no recollection of meeting. I meet people all the time. They come up and say hello and kind of ask you what your eye makeup's all about. You know, what you wear my hat for.
Did you get that jacket?
Yeah, say sold. And off they go. And they've got a picture of it that they show somebody, and I forget all about it because you've got into acting mode.
Of course.
You've gone into alter ego. So about 6 months later, I got an email, and this girl had found me through Facebook, and on my Facebook's an open profile, and on it was my email address, and she sent me an email saying, you probably won't remember me, but you met me in a pub in Dublin, and I remembered the number on your arm. And she remembered it because I was born in 1988.
Right.
And the number's 1980.
Yep.
So she remembered 1988 Mala, googled it and found Mala Zimmerbomb. And then she said, for whatever reason, this morning, I was sitting in my garden and I saw two beautiful red admiral butterflies. And for whatever reason, the two red admiral butterflies triggered something in my head saying, I must find my person. I must find my number. And it becomes almost a thing of you got to remember that when somebody died in this situation, the family died.
Yep.
The neighbours died, the street died, the village died, the town died, the county died, everybody died.
Yeah.
So almost the more boring and nondescript the person that you find, the more important it is, because these are the people that are going to get lost.
Yep.
And I have this thing in my head that says everybody's here for a reason. Doesn't matter whether you're here for one day.
Believe that, do you? I've always
100 years.
wanted to question you actually. Is that one of your things you do believe we're here for a reason? You don't think it's just random and then we might choose to make a reason?
Well,
what kind of way around is it?
I'm maybe explaining that wrong. I don't think we're here for any predetermined reason.
Right, no kind of fate or destiny thing?
No.
No, right, okay.
That's all the bollocks.
Cool.
I think what we do affects the world.
Yep, definitely.
Which is a different thing. Everybody has an effect on the world. They have a cause, they have an effect. It doesn't matter whether you're larger than life or duller than dishwater. You have the same effect on life. So if you happen to be one of the unfortunate people who has a baby who dies at 1 day old, horrific situation, or 1 minute old, that situation makes you, the father, a different person for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
The mother's a different person for the rest of their life. the extended family and friends, and now because of social media, every single person that knows that story is affected by it.
Yeah.
As people are listening to this just now, they'll have their own people that they know that have had, stillborn babies or babies that are 1 day old, or kids that tragic dies. It makes everybody different. Therefore, that 1 day old life changes the world in exactly the same way that the 100-year-old life does.
Yeah.
Everything, that 1 day old life changes you, and you then go on to live to be 100.
Yeah.
But changed by the 1 day, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, totally.
So that's what I believe.
Right.
Anyway, this girl said, two-headed admiral butterflies in my garden, thought I'll go find my person. And it's funny, I've only ever read her email once or maybe twice, but I remember it word for word.
Right.
So I eventually found my person. Her name was Frido Dicker Brandis.
Oh, jeez, that's worse than yours.
Exactly.
Jeez, I'm going to look for Peggy, I'm telling you.
Frido Dicker Brandis was a teacher housed in Theresienstadt concentration camp.
Right.
Which I think is where Schindler's List was.
Oh, is it?
Done.
Ah, right, okay.
And she decided that the only skill that she had was as a teacher, and what she would do is teach all the kids in the camp a normal education, try and keep their lives as normal as she possibly could. None of the kids survived. Frido Dicker Brandis didn't survive. It was a holding camp for Auschwitz. But when the Russians came in 1945 and liberated the camp, the soldiers found all the wee things like Cara's done here, the pictures done for me.
Right. From all the kids.
Loads of them from all the kids, loads of things, poems and things like that. And they put them all together in a book. It was subsequently published, and the book was called I Never Saw Another Butterfly.
Oh, really?
And it was like a punch in the stomach.
Whoa!
This girl said I saw 2 butterflies. I then find this story that ends up in the butterfly, and you think, well, there's the fate thing.
Come on, aye.
So I go onto Amazon, I find an old copy of it because it's out of
a print, is it? Right.
It now sits on the coffee table.
Oh, fantastic.
Now, you think, what did you say Cara was 9?
Yep.
This book has lots of stuff like from Cara, age 9, and the poem will say something like, the beautiful blossom has appeared in the bush. By the time the blossom disappears, this little girl will be no more.
Right.
You think, Jesus, blow your mind stuff at 9-year-old. But the thing is, I do something as simple as this tiny wee tattoo in my arm that somebody sees.
Yep.
That girl's life direction just changed.
Yes.
Because she got other people.
Yeah.
She got that it's not about us.
Yeah.
We are important, but who we become is how we interact with others, or not. If you don't interact with others, you become somebody. It's not who I want to be.
No.
And that brings us back to the kind of thing, instead of Cara, what is it you want to be when you leave school? Cara, who is it you want to be when you leave school?
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, if I wrapped all my money up into the polythene bag, started back there in the Oxfam shop, I walk out twice the person. But if I stick all my stuff into a poly bag and then somebody takes that poly bag off me, what does that do to your mentality?
Yeah.
So you're the same situation. You're
the bag's going.
You're the same person, same knowledge, skin.
Yep.
But one guy stands 10 feet tall and the other guy's...
feels a ruin,
Exactly.
wasted, destroyed.
But the facts are the same. It's just how you process it in your head.
Yeah, the story that you put on it, isn't it? Of course, the old Shakespeare thing, but I can't remember his phrase.
I would like to think that you know that you're in the charity Finding Your Feet.
Yes, so this is what I want to get into, really.
All right.
So, we've discussed the castle and stuff, which is brilliant, but what you're very well known for now as a charity, a specific charity, because you've done other things in the past, Finding Your Feet. How would you summarise it to someone who's not heard of it yet? All these links for the castle, get in touch with Davy or whatever you want to watch the charity and stuff, they're on the kind of show notes and stuff, so that'll be there for you. But how would you kind of discuss it to someone? Because it has got a very, very personal family connection for you.
It does. First and foremost, I should say that I'm not here to speak to you to publicise anything. Lord Castle, Find Your Feet. That's not what it's there for. I suppose the very fact I just said Law Castle fight.
Brilliant.
These are publicised there
Love
again. It's
so
not,
these wee links are just for people for research purposes.
it's not.
Whatever they
I'm
fancy.
not here for any kind of financial benefit.
Yep.
If you, very often when you listen to somebody else's musings, they trigger with your own stuff, and it's about how you add that a little bit to what you're thinking already. That takes you just that extra. It's like the one day old baby and the 100-year-old life. It's the same. It's the same thing.
Right.
And if we can help any of your listeners out there just take that extra step that takes them to a completely different destination in 20 years' time, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Finding Your Feet was my sister 4.5 years ago.
That's how long it is now.
Yeah.
time's ridiculous.
Charity's 450 yesterday.
Wow.
Coincidentally. She lost her hands and feet to arms and legs, whatever way you want to say it, to sepsis. Now she was supposed to die. It was a miracle that she didn't die. Richard Branson had a hand in that. He actually finances an organisation down south that's how can I explain it? They take all the blood out of your body and clean it while you're being supported by artificial blood. Keeps your brain going, your heart's going. And it's there, I think, because they know there's another Spanish flu coming along that's going to kill millions of us. And that's what Spanish flu did. You basically had a cold and a cough. You coughed up a little bit of blood. The virus then gets into your bloodstream through the region.
Ah, right, okay.
And
Every day's a school day.
tissue, we all fall down.
Yeah.
And that's why you hear so much about the bird flu and the swine flu, and because they're the same strain as the Spanish flu, and they know there's one coming.
Right.
Don't
Fascinating.
want to scare everybody, but
Good.
it is kind of slightly encouraging to know that there is kind of stuff going
Somebody's
on.
working on a plan. Yeah, exactly.
So, believe it or not, Corinne, when she was dying and on life support, we found out about this place through a nurse that knew somebody. It's called ECMO in Leicester. And Richard Branson actually got a phone call on Neck Island from his PA in the UK to say, is it okay if we send a plane and we'll get this girl and try it out? We think she's, for want of a better expression, we think she's fucked. Her numbers are through the roof. They're way more than anything else we would ever touch.
Right.
But it's a Sunday and we're doing nothing else.
Wow.
Pretty much. So the medical staff, if it'd been, an interesting aside, if it'd been on a Monday, a bean counter would have made that decision, and there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way it would have happened.
Exactly.
Because it was a Sunday, it was a surgeon made the decision of doing, I think we won't get that girl. And in actual fact, she would have come out it not unscathed, but she'd have lost fingers and toes. But when she came back up to Paisley, she caught another infection in the hospital, and they panicked a bit and kind of pumped her full of lots of antibiotics because of her story going back 6-7 weeks. And what antibiotics do is they cut off they protect your vital organs. They cut off the blood supply to your hands and feet. So you had areas that were trying to recover, they just had the blood supply cut off to them, and that's ultimately why she ended up losing them. Now, you can then look at that and say, am I going to sue the NHS for that situation? Or you can say, how do you sue the people that saved your life?
Aye.
But again, go back to the selfish thing. We've now got this blame culture,
Yep.
and it's all wrong.
Yep.
And you used to see these things where, somebody gets wheeled in an emergency situation, the doctor's not there, the nurse plunges the needle into the heart, and and the guy recovers. Couldn't happen now.
Yeah.
In that situation now, you die.
Yep.
You die
and the syringe is
because nobody
right there.
exactly because nobody can take the risk
Yeah.
of you suing them because you lost you lost your hearing and your right ear because of this
Sure.
thing. So anyway, the charity was born out of that. And essentially, it was about how do we give Corinne purpose,
Right.
because she's lying there in the hospital thinking, what will become of me?
Yeah.
I won't be able to do my job, I won't be able to do this, that and the next thing. And what we were really saying was, this is your job.
Right. Okay.
Now, Corinne's a very driven individual. She's in a lot of ways she's very similar to me, although more industrious.
Older or younger sister?
Younger.
Is she? Right,
Yeah.
right.
Corinne's 47.
Right.
She was 43 then.
Right.
14 with a 4-year-old. So, and a marriage that split up because of it.
Oh, really? Right, okay.
So she was left basically on her own. Fortunately, she stays next door to my parents and just up the road from me. So the family unit's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But it was strange. You know, people say, did finding your feet or Corinne's situation change your life?
Mm-hmm.
No, it didn't. I kind of felt I'd trained my whole life for that situation. And the stuff that I talk about all the time, you know, Schindler's List, little girl in the red coat.
Aye.
The little girl in the red coat signifies 6 million people that died.
Right.
But you can't process 6 million people.
Yeah.
But you can process one pretty little blonde girl in a red coat, because you substitute your daughter for that kid.
Correct.
So break it down. I knew how to do that.
Right.
I preached it my whole life. But it develops a monster, because you think, well, the knee-jerk thing is we'll start the charity to help other amputees.
Right.
And Corinne can go to hospitals and see other people that are in, because it's so common, amputations now, diabetes and
is it?
Aye. It's huge. And you effectively create a monster. Not a monster, because a very good and well-intentioned monster,
yeah.
But it still needs run and direction,
yeah.
and planning. And you know, you guys were all at the Finding Your Feet Bionic Bash last year.
What was it?
One of the
hotels
it was in. And it's a great night, and it's great to see everybody coming out to support it.
Yeah.
But again, the importance of that night is give people a good night, and they're happy to support it.
Right.
Ask them to give you money for nothing, and people are less likely to do it. So do it for the right reasons. Do it to make it fun.
Right.
And money follows.
Right. So that's the same routine again.
Yeah, it's like Paul McFadden in a room, fill him full of drink, and before he knows it, he's bought a Celtic jersey for for £15,000 kind of thing. Which is a lot of the reason that he doesn't drink an awful lot.
It is.
Following that unfortunate occasion when he bought a Celtic jersey for £15,000.
The business team have spoken to him.
I remembered he was a Rangers fan. Which explains the Trump thing.
Oh yeah. It's a sickness. That's what it is. It's a flavor sickness.
So the thing about Finding Your Feet is, I have this thing in my head that everybody's normal. If you have a leg missing, you're still the same person.
Yeah.
If you're blind, you're still the same person. And it's, our bodies only exist to take our brains places.
To carry us about. Yeah, it's a vehicle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your brain is what does. As long as you've got a brain, you affect. Well, you don't even need to have a brain to affect the world. Your brain is the beautiful part of you. So what we're trying to create is a kind of 50 Shades of Normal type thing, where we've got a kid away just now, and she's out as we speak off the Canaries.
Is this the ship, the toll ship thing? Right. Okay.
That's the Jubilee Sailing Trust thing, which is an organisation that basically takes people of all disabilities away on a tall ship, and they crew it. And if they take you out on it, they'll get you to the top of the rigging, whether you're in a wheelchair or not. So it's open to people with MS, or if you're blind or deaf, or got a limb missing. But what they do that I think is really important is 50% of the people they take are able-bodied.
Right.
So it's designed so that you come back off of that long ocean voyage with a different view of multiple sclerosis, or you know how a blind person becomes part of the team, or a deaf, when they have it like voice activated on the ship's wheel, so as that a blind person can steer the ship.
Whoa!
And it's a fantastic thing. And the girl that's out there lost both legs,
right,
through a drug situation.
Okay.
The other kid who's earmarked to go lost both his legs through alcohol.
Was it?
Fell on the train tracks, electric train tracks, and blew both his legs off at the hip. Now, the idea behind it is if you're sitting on a 44-day voyage from the Falklands to Cape Town, and there's no wind that day, you're sitting there evaluating your whole life, thousands of miles from anywhere,
Right.
and you'll realise that your life is changing because you have no legs. Because
Right, okay.
with legs, you were never going on that
You
voyage.
ain't seen that ship.
You're not crossing the Atlantic or the Pacific or seeing the Antarctic or anything like that.
Right.
So you start to appreciate what you are, and what you are in that situation propels you into who you are.
Right.
Whereas you and I come from a different perspective. You have to start with who you are, and who you are will make you what you are.
What you are, right? Okay.
So in actual fact, as strange as it might sound, people like my sister and Paul and Samantha are handed a gift to some extent, because they're now given something that makes them interesting, and how they use that determines how far they go.
Yes.
Because what they've been,
There is still a choice there, right?
Exactly.
You've had the gift,
Yeah.
but what are you going to do?
Johnny Peacock, my sister was on breakfast telly with
Oh,
Johnny
yes,
Peacock,
yes.
well, and then he's on Strictly Come Dancing,
Aye.
being judged as an able-bodied person,
Yep.
because bionic by its definition, we will repair you, we will make you faster than you were before, stronger than you were, fitter than you were before. The technology is there, and a lot. I mean, Corinne walked down the corridor here. You wouldn't know. And we did the publicity thing with Corinne with her arms and legs off.
Yes.
With her body painted.
The whole body, but there's some amazing pictures. Obviously,
Yeah.
the folks will see that through the Facebook page
Well,
and stuff.
that was to highlight the organ donation week for the NHS.
Right.
So our liver, our heart, the hand was drawn on,
Right.
as it rested on our leg, and it was to highlight the importance of organ donation. We went down to London, did a guerrilla campaign where we broadcast it under cover of night onto Covent Gardens and Charing Cross and other landmarks. He did it until the police moved you on, and then we went to another landmark and did it to the police moved us on.
Is it used again?
Well, what it did was it got on the front page of all the newspapers,
Exactly.
and thousands of people signed up for organ donation because of Corinne's picture on a wall.
Yeah.
So if Corinne hadn't lost her
That's
arms and
bonkers.
legs, somebody doesn't sign up for organ donation. If somebody doesn't sign up for organ donation, your daughter doesn't live in that situation. That's what you have to do, is put it down to you. Because my life was going really well, Corinne's life was going really well, and then all of a sudden it's upside down.
Yep.
And how do you choose to deal with it?
Yeah. How are you going to respond?
Exactly. And that's
Who are you? How are you going to respond? There you go.
Well-
So what now?
well, that's when you know who you are.
Yeah.
And I lived for weeks and months on adrenaline, the hospital every night.
Is that right?
Because I knew, and maybe that's the ego of me, I knew that I was the one that could provide the direction. I knew I was the one she was looking to say,
Right.
where is this taking me? You see the fear and and everything there.
She's searching.
Yeah.
So when did you have the answer that? Because going back to we're going to use Find Your Feet or call it whatever, we're going to use it a charity to give her a purpose. Were you sitting in the hospital thinking, what the hell am I going to do here? What the hell?
Before she lost her hands and feet,
Was
certainly. Prior to that, when I suspected she might lose her feet,
Right.
I could see the public speaking thing. I could see the TED talk. I could see the kind of the helping
It's
people.
all going.
Well, yes, because it's about building self-esteem. It's like, how do you become the person that walked out of Oxfam having given your money
With the
away,
money.
as opposed to having your life destroyed? So part of Corinne's life is destroyed.
Sure.
Of her old life,
Sure.
but her new life is the one that has given her the freedom of Renfrewshire. And
Oh,
it's,
God, aye, exactly.
it's the one that gets her invited to Downing Street, and she then chooses where she wants that vehicle to go.
Right.
Do you want to end up on Question Time and be relevant for what you know, as opposed to what you are?
Right.
But what you are is what got you to the position of being able to demonstrate
To do that.
what you know.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting part of it. There's always a positive.
Good.
Sometimes it's difficult to find the positive.
Especially when you're right in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that particular time scale, I was fueled for a great length of time there by just adrenaline.
Right.
And when it wears off, it's a real... I ended up in I don't know what you call it, post-traumatic stress thing, but I tell the story all the time of going to get ice from McDonald's when Corinne was there trying to chill her blood, and they didn't have ice in the hospital, and it was the hottest day of the year. This is just when she got taken in the hospital at first. And I knew at that point she was going to die. And I remember standing in the car park at 3 o'clock in the morning, and if I shut my eyes just now, I can tell you all the cars that were parked in the car park.
Seriously?
I'm pretty sure it's one of these
vivid.
situations, if you had a hypnotist that could hypnotise, I bet you I could tell you the registration numbers on them.
Whoa.
I can tell you the star positions of them. It was like a snapshot in time, and everything through that point was like snapshots in time.
Yeah.
And when it wore off, it was, after her amputations, I was down seeing somebody's house in Port Glasgow, and I went to the Kentucky Fried Chicken in Greenock, or just in between Greenock and Port Glasgow. And on the way out, carrying my meal, I ended up on my knees in the car park, like somebody hit me with a baseball bat in the side of the head, roaring and greeting. Nobody near me. Wasn't thinking about it. Wasn't thinking of anything. And I remember looking a seagull in the eyes that ate my chicken, and not being able to move. And I remember it looking at me. You just that kind of way sometimes, like you see it with your dog and everything. You've got a connection every so often. You look right into the eyes of each other.
So
me and the seagull,
you bonded.
If it could have given me the finger, it would have given me the finger.
I'm over your chicken, big man.
He's a crispy strip bastard.
Whoa!
But
just floored you.
Yeah, and it's again, that's when you understand adrenaline, and when you understand depression, and you understand all of that. And if you can understand it, and you can understand anxiety, and you can understand magnification, even when it's magnifying in yourself, you can say to yourself, "This is magnified. This isn't real."
Yeah, so you can actually tell yourself, "This is an illusion. I can see this thing, but it's actually an illusion, pal."
Now, I happened to learn all of that kind of magnification and it's not real thing from a girl I know who was battling an eating disorder.
Right.
And that's what the eating disorder is, a magnification. It's like your bipolar cycle. You if it's anorexia, for instance, or bulimia. Bulimia's a better example. You starve yourself because you want to lose weight.
Yeah.
You starve yourself to the point you're starving, then your body reacts and it binges. And because it binges, then the guilt clicks in, and then you make yourself sick.
Right.
Then you starve yourself, then the process starts all over again. It's about breaking that cycle. So much that what I've put into these situations, I've got back double, because they teach me.
Yeah.
And they make me a bigger person.
Yeah.
And then you've got the thing of, once you've developed the knowledge, you're being selfish if you don't help the next person. And I now know, when I get into a situation of somebody that needs help, you don't quit. Because when you quit, you destroy lives. So you need to know what you're getting into. Don't willy-nilly go out there and decide that you're going to go help somebody with depression.
Yeah.
You can help people just by an encouraging word.
Aye, totally. A smile, anything.
And try not to make that encouraging word pull yourself together. Man up.
Pull you up by your bootstraps.
And that's a very, very male thing. But if you look at now, what's happening with male suicide, because they don't talk about it.
Correct.
And what I found was a connection with women, because women understood my depression at the time, because every single woman deals with depression because of menstrual cycle.
Alright, okay. Just naturally, biologically.
You can't fail to have noticed, Richard, that women tend to be a bit more up and down.
There's a few there's a roller coaster.
Guys all have that expression that a Labrador uses when it doesn't know what you're talking about. You'll do that kind of cock your head to the side and kind of look puzzled. Women never have that.
No.
And heal. But it is that thing, as you get older and you develop knowledge, put it to the right use.
Yeah.
You don't need it. I'm not going to starve. Nobody's going to. I still live in fear that whatever I have, I'll lose tomorrow. But it's a much more overriding thing for me now. The charity aspect of it, the find your feet side. I think I can affect the world a lot more than Davy Hutton doing now.
Just make money over here. Just make And you think that, I mean, that's got to be an important thing for any business person to consider, surely. What am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I creating this? Obviously you're interested in something brilliant. If you're in property and you're investing, this really floats my boat. I think this is fascinating. And I love doing refurbs, or I love doing service accommodation and stuff, and I'm making money and my family's doing well and I'm able to take us to all. But it's not enough, is it?
No.
There's got to be these other things. I mean, this is why what I was desperate to chat to you, because you've got that holistic approach.
Well, again, it's back to the zookeeper's wife thing that we talked about. Had Corinne not got sick, would I have started a charity? No.
Yeah.
Would I have been helping the girl with the eating disorder? Yeah.
Right.
Would I have been helping the self-harming guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
As I came across people, I was probably always motivated by the individual. It goes back to the little girl in the red coat.
Right.
It goes back to, we don't give to charity. Because charity's a big word. But if I said to you,
and it's faceless, isn't it?
Richard, give me everything you've got, or this wee girl here dies.
Yeah.
See this wee girl that you can see her face?
Yeah.
She dies.
Exactly. That's different.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But it's not different. It's just how we relate to it.
Right.
So, us putting Corinne out there as the figurehead, Corinne's very capable of taking this charity forward all by herself.
Yeah.
But somebody has to give Corinne direction. So if you like Corinne gives the charity direction, I give Corinne direction, and but from an ego point of view, this is the first thing that I've done that I didn't get any credit for.
Right. Okay.
Because Corinne runs Finding Your Feet, and Nicola Booth runs Finding Your Feet, and Cara Ferguson runs Finding Your Feet, and they are Finding Your Feet. I'm not, so I'm in a lot of ways anonymous in the background, and it's great.
Aye, you're actually enjoying that part of it, aren't you?
Well, I struggled I was very aware at one point that Corinne was down speaking at the Gherkin in London, and I was kind of jealous that I want to speak in the Gherkin.
You felt it?
Aye.
Is that right?
And it's that kind of thing. That's not fair.
Wait a minute.
That's not fair. I told her that speech. She stole it up from me. And then you realise that you've actually got her to where you wanted her to be, because you're judging her as an equal.
Yes.
And not as an amputee.
This, brother, sister. Oh, I don't know a minute. That's mad. Aye, that's right. That's right.
And you
from the girl who was in the bed in the hospital and you're worrying about. See.
And now we find your feet when you meet amputees. I hate even using the word, because they're just people.
Yep.
And watching them, it's the simplest things as well. It's like drop-in centres where they can all come and have a cup of tea.
Right.
And just talk with people.
Is that what's happening in Aberdeen? There was a wee bit of publicity on Facebook you were talking about over in Aberdeen. Is that what's happening up there? A kind of drop-in centre? Is it right? Okay.
So there'll be drop-in centres in Aberdeen.
To let them release, let them talk.
There's one in Dundee, there's one in Edinburgh,
right.
and obviously Glasgow. There's also one that we're playing about with just now down in Leeds.
Brilliant.
Because that's where the hand transplant hospital is, so Corinne's down there quite a lot.
Ah, right, okay.
Now, it is fulfilling, and it's it's a different type of, it teaches, different type of people teach me a different type of way. If you surround yourself with business people and money oriented people all the time, that's all you know. Nicola Booth runs Finding Your Feet on a day-to-day basis. Corinne travels the country giving speeches. Now, Nicola actually does the donkey work running the thing.
All the logistics and everything, right.
But I found out 3 years after I started working with her that Nicola operates a food bank in Kilmarnock. And for 3 years she'd gone to and never told us.
Right.
Because it didn't occur to her. There's no ego involved. There's no blowing your own trumpet. It's purely about helping people who need help.
Right.
Now, these are the people who were born to do that kind of job. There's people like me and you and everybody else who give to charity, secretly kind of wanted to be known that they gave to charity.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Now, there's also the other people that sit there and say children in need and cash for kids and comic relief, and everyone's all a big bag of shite and I'm not giving them money because they waste all their money. Well, you can argue that they maybe have got money sitting in the bank that they haven't got around to spending yet, but you have to be honest with yourself and say, would you have donated your 50 quid to another charity if that programme didn't exist? Because it raises 80 million quid or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if they scrapped that next year, would 80 million pounds find the way to different charities? I doubt it very much.
Exactly.
What Finding Your Feet allows people to do is to specifically help individual people. You get to see who you help. You get to see Samantha on the tall ship. You get to see Corinne's going to Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro stuff, yeah.
In October, if anybody out there wants to, if that's on your bucket list to climb Kilimanjaro, go do it for Find Your Feet. If you want to run the London Marathon, do it for yourself, but make the beneficiary Finding Your Feet or whatever charity you want.
Yeah.
I've got a bigger problem with. I've got a bit of a problem with the kind of cancer research type charities. The ones that become almost too big, that you can't see what it's doing.
Right.
I wonder. I don't know what cancer research does.
No, it's a famous name and stuff like that. That's true.
But they're not finding a cure for cancer.
How long are you going to be researching?
The pharmaceutical companies will find a cure for cancer if they want to. And it is finance oriented, it's money oriented, it's business.
Absolutely.
And there comes a point where you start off as a pharmaceutical company to cure people of ills, and then you become the monster out of control, where you're actually controlling the economy. You're actually and if you look at the economy, we're at the top of this giant Ponzi scheme, where at the top now sits the food industry and the pharmaceutical and the media, and largely that's it. These are the people that control the world now, not the government. The corporation controls the government rather than the corporation being controlled by the government.
Yeah.
So we'll flip the whole thing round about.
Yeah. How
we flip it back, I don't know. Can we flip it back? I don't know. We are now entering a very interesting age of the information technology, and you're more clued up on that than I am, but you can get your message out there a lot easier now through electric technology. Technology, we are going to produce cheap energy. Electricity is not going to be produced through coal power stations. It's going to be through tidal and solar and wind and whatnot. And the flip side of that is you can desalinate seawater. If you can desalinate seawater cheaply, and you can get it to the people that are dying of thirst all over Africa and whatnot, then the world population becomes better. The reality is the food industry won't, or technology industry for that matter, won't allow that to be taken there, because it'll be sold as a commodity.
Where's the money?
Follow the money.
So the business angle with the charity angle, make the person that you are, the person you want to be, whatever. Do you think someone should always personalise it? If you were here to advise or help a lot of young people starting out their business road, maybe investing in their first couple of properties, whatever, and they're getting there, but you want, listen, have a wee wider look at life, and let's think about helping others and contributing and being there for someone, is the easiest angle to say to them, where are you in your life, what's the thing? Is it that your dad died of cancer? Is it that your sister's been, had limbs amputated? Does it go back to that wee girl with the red coat? Is the best inroad personalised?
Everything in my life goes back to that little girl in the red coat.
Yeah.
Such a clever bit of Spielberg at his best.
Oh, aye.
And many people will never have sat down and thought of the significance of it, why it was done.
Just think it looks pretty.
Yeah.
Aye.
So visually it works, but what it signifies is or what we're blasé about. You wouldn't think you're blasé about 6 million when you're so upset about one.
Yeah.
But you are. We can just shut off. It's like a safety valve. You said personalising the business. I'm aware that I run businesses where Davy Hutton is visible. Now the truth of the matter is I do that because it's the only way I know how to do it.
Right.
I don't know how to put the right structure in place where everybody has a job and you trust them to do it. I suppose it's about control freakery, and control freakery kind of stops you moving on because you want to do everything everything yourself.
Yeah.
And the ego part of you assumes that you can do it better than everybody else.
Yeah.
But it also makes you largely have unsellable businesses. So selling the pub was difficult because people looked at it and said, well, Davy's not in the pub, is there a pub?
Yeah.
And of course there is, it just needs to be done in a different way. You can't copy what Davy does and expect it to work. It's unlikely that you would be able to go into the radio and say, I'm Richard Swan, sold, and it'll work the same way that David, because different personalities, different ways of working. You can do largely the same thing with a different message. But I've got a dilemma just now where what is it people know me as? Do they know me as the guy that buys houses, or do they know me as the guy that sells houses? And should Davy Hutton be the guy that buys houses and Quicksale be the company that sells houses? Is the message too diluted? And it's business is tough just now. I mean, our inquiry level is probably down 50%.
Is it?
From the Brexit vote? And without being political about it, what things like Brexit and hung parliaments do is create an uncertainty. And when times are uncertain, people sit in their hands and they don't sell their houses. So the number of listings on the market just now is less. And you've got different people looking for it rather than just the traditional Slater Hogan house, and you've got Purple Bricks, and you've got these kind of organisations going on. Now, in 10 years' time, Purple Bricks will sell your house for nothing. Now they're running an advert saying no commissary, like they sell your house for nothing. They don't. They sell your house for £1,500, whether they sell it or not. So if you don't sell your house, you still owe them £1,500. It's a nonsense. But online is quite definitely going to be the future. Effectively, I've come right round the whole loop where I set up this organisation to battle the traditional estate agent that everybody hated with a pinstripe suit and the hair product and the BMW. And having battled that, I'm now having to battle almost the same level of bullshit with people starting up calling themselves, an entrepreneur and a property guru because their mum had a buy-to-let. They
were a student.
And it's very difficult because how do you get across that I'm buying the properties with my money, I'm dealing with your problems and helping you to a different life against the guy who's saying almost the same thing, but the money that he's using isn't his money, it's an investor's money, and they don't give two shits about what happens in your life. Maybe I've just got to a time in my life where I can afford to give a shit about somebody's life. And I'm not so wrapped up in my own. Maybe perversely I've discovered that other people's lives give me more enjoyment. Has
the charity part of that opened your eyes in that way, do you think? Because you must have seen the benefit and the impact.
I think the benefit was, for me, was way back in helping to change somebody's life with an eating disorder.
That's the key, was it?
There's been a few of them because once you gain the knowledge of one, it rolls you into another.
Because I mean that is, even that scenario is what I'm talking about. Because you throw away the word charity and you just think money, but there's no really money. It's you're giving, you're serving. So what is it? Is it time? Is it the chat you had? Is it money? Is it
it's time.
It's all the same, isn't it? You're giving.
If you're at the end of one of these depression led things like eating disorder or self-harming or things like that, you don't wave a magic wand and sort these situations out.
No.
You communicate multiple times a day for multiple months and years for it to inch forward, inch by inch by inch. And it's about creating the confidence in somebody else that they can recognise the magnification and they can recognise when it's out of control. Because what happens if you think about what anxiety does, it narrows down your field of vision to allow you to deal with whatever's right in front of you. It's like your car losing power because something's wrong. It'll get you home, but it'll get you home on reduced power. So somebody in the grip of anxiety, whether it's an eating disorder or just plain old anxiety, doesn't see things the way that you and I do. But anxiety exists. If you and I get into a fight to the death right now, you don't want to be talking or thinking about Cara.
That's right.
Or your wife or the kids or the dog. You have to focus on what's right in front of you. And that's what anxiety does. If you can use it the right way, it's very useful.
Right.
But you have to recognise when it then becomes counterproductive because you don't see the things that you should be doing. You don't see the charity over here, and you don't see the homeless person sitting on the on the pavement. So, you know, I spoke to a homeless guy recently. His name was Billy. Sits down beside Central Station.
I've spoke to him.
Well, you possibly have. He sits in the same place now.
Aye.
I sat down the pavement with him. It was during the summer. And I said, "How'd you get here? Tell me your story. I'm interested." And it turned out he'd lived with his mum in Bishopbriggs, and he's got issues with schizophrenia, mental health issues. His mum died. Council wouldn't let him take the tenancy of the house on. Boom, homeless.
You're done.
And then he started speaking to other people. And I gave the guy what I had in my pocket. It was the end of the night. I was steaming, starting out a pub, kind of heading home, and I had £17. It resulted in me having to get the bloody train home rather than get my taxi home. I had £17 in loose change in my pocket. You know, that way you come home for the pub and you got 50 pence, he's making up 17 and no notes left. And as soon as I gave him it, he packed up his gear and was going. I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "That's enough to get me into the hostel for the night." That's all he's sitting there for. Is to get enough money to live under cover.
Give me a shelter.
Aye. And I prefer to talk about Billy, the homeless person, than talk about homelessness.
Yes, see again, so it's that personal angle. Aye, exactly. There's a face on it, there's a red coat on it.
Only when people can put a face on it can they start to change their opinion. So everybody's got an opinion on the refugee crisis. Because it's the refugees. But remember how it changed when that young kid's body was found in the beach.
In the Mediterranean. Like that.
Everybody's view changes.
Yes.
Because it's a kid, it's not a refugee. And you need to understand that if you're doing okay in this country, you're doing okay by an accident of birth.
Yes, that's simple. The bit of dirt you were born on.
Yeah, people are people. And you know, the whole problem that I have with, back to Trump, is this thing of people saying, "I've got billions, therefore I'm better than you." Well, you're plainly not, and you're demonstrating it every day that you're not. Because there's a charity worker out there that runs a food bank that's twice the man that you are.
Correct. Because
they're doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it to love thy neighbour, help thy neighbour, or whatever the expression is. I'm not a religious person at all. But all it takes is to help one person. You know, I'm not.
So do you just think it's right? It's just the right thing to do. You know, you're not religious. I don't know if you believe in a God or not or whatever. So why do you do? Why do we help?
I don't believe in it, Richard, on account of it being a big bag of shite. It's a created thing to control people. I believe that there is something that connects us all,
right?
Which is a much more spiritual way of looking at it. You know, say God, and you'd be as well saying the sky fairy. It's an old guy with a beard up there. No, it's not.
Connotations.
You know, I think, you know, it sounds crazy, but films like The Matrix and Star Wars and seem to have got it more right to me. The Force, the zone in, kind of feel what I'm feeling type thing. Buddhism, I suppose, is probably. I don't know a lot about Buddhism, but that's what I imagine it to be. And you don't hear an awful lot about the Buddhist serial killer. You know, it's it doesn't happen, but it happens in religion. It happens in Christianity, and it happens in Islam, and putting people against people is where your conflict comes from.
The football team thing again.
Exactly. Put people with people.
So you think there's something, there's a thing, there's an energy, there's a connection, and that's why we should just be doing it. But
one of the trustees of the charity, Charles Afakwa, Charles a dentist down in Greenock. He's a former rugby guy with Glasgow Hawks, and his son is currently, I think the last couple of years, Chris has been overstaying in the refugee camp in Calais, living in a caravan. And he writes these blogs that are fantastically graphic and visual. And I'm thinking, as a dad, Big Chaz must have gone through the whole thing that we do of what do you want to be when you leave school, and all these dreams of what will happen with his kid will go to university and get this degree, and there he is living in a caravan in the migrant refugee camp in Calais, not earning a bean, and he must be the proudest dad on the planet. because his kid is who he wants to be and not what he wants to be. And he could be a lawyer sitting in Harper McLeod and in Gordon Street, but he's not. He's in a caravan and he's twice the man.
Wow. So is the business element almost insignificant then? Is it, if you want to do that and that's part of your puzzle, then go for it, but make sure you're helping, make sure you're serving, make sure you're contributing.
If you take the kind of I like property development. I've always liked property development. I've always liked taking something ugly and making it something pretty. Yeah. And the byproduct is that you make money off it. That's what I like doing. So I talk about people's stories and things. That's something that's come relatively recently, since we get into this kind of thing. But previous to that, I was a property developer and didn't give two shits about anybody's stories. Mainly because
it was the story of the property. That was the story for you.
Mainly because I didn't come into contact with the people's stories. Yeah. I was doing one estate agent, you know, or whatnot, at an auction company. But first and foremost, that's what tickles me. That's what gives me the job satisfaction. You're doing something you love, something you're interested in, fascinated in, whatever. Right, okay. So the charity aspect and the property development aspect are the ones that give me the kick. The estate agency part of it is the bit that pays the overheads. Right. That allows me to do that. If you
gotcha.
You know, and I could make a lot more money than I make, and I'm probably not the big company that people perceive me to be, and I'm probably not the super wealthy individual that people perceive me to be, because largely I choose not to be. And that's a great power. Choice, it's a great power.
It's a freedom.
Yeah. Aye. Freedom's a good word for it.
Freedom and contentment, which you mentioned earlier as well. You know,
contentment. I'm not sure that
more of it.
I'm not sure I'll ever truly have it, because, well, I do have more of it, but I don't like it. Because
you don't like contentment?
Well, with contentment comes a lack of drive.
Is it that thing again? Right, okay, you've got a fear of that being pulled down.
And you either want to change the world or you don't, and I have this thing about changing my world. That's why I get kind of jealous of my sister changing the world.
Aye.
But then you've got to step back and say, I'm changing my world through my sister. I've got an ability to change much more of the world through Corinne than I have through me, because she's much more likely to get asked on to question time than I am.
Yeah.
She's much more likely to get asked on to Strictly Come Dancing than I am, because, you know, I'm just known as the most annoying guy on the radio.
And you're a crap dancer as well.
I'm a crap dancer, but enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. Oh, brilliant. Right, I've taken up a ridiculous amount of your time. There's two things going on around.
You're going to put this on about 3 different podcasts.
I know, we'll have to. There's wee parts that I can put in a sneaky area, actually. What was popping out my head was, I wonder what your opinion is of, because we mentioned earlier some characters: Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Business, billions, and it seems to be a kind of two-part strategy, and then giving, helping, serving, whatever, and then of course there's other business people out there who are going along and contributing, going along and pay. Any thought, oh that's right, that's wrong, that's it's courses for courses, it's no you should definitely do the focus to make as much as you can, to then help as much as you can, or no, you don't know when the bus is going to hit you, you should be doing the same at the same time. Any opinions?
I think you can largely do both. I was really focused for, you know, through my 30s, 20s, 30s, early 40s, but I still did the things that I wanted to do. In that time, I made it a mantra that once a year I was doing something, whether I was rafting down the Grand Canyon, or, you know, bodyboarding down the Zambezi, or bungee jumping, or bobsleigh and the Cresta Run in San Moritz. Every year I had one of these. If you start it young enough, you do everything you set out to do. The problem is when you get to 40 and decide, that's when you get the midlife crisis, because you suddenly panic and realise there's not enough time left to do all the things that I want to do. I can't go to Vietnam and India and Cambodia and, you know, Thailand and China and Hong Kong, because I don't have enough holidays left. So you have to make everyone count, and that's why I've never been a fan of the kind of Florida for 3 weeks and repeat until dead.
Right.
Because I don't have enough time to do that.
It's a time thing.
And learn what I want to learn.
Okay. Aye. But you don't have a problem with either kind of way that those people are, because they're still serving, they're still contributing.
Not at all. As long as you're, make your head focused and your heart pure. And I know that sounds pretty bollocks.
That's quite nice, actually.
Well, it's not even plagiarised. I just made that up.
No way.
I did.
That sounds quite poetic.
I'm a poet inside.
Okay. I think we'll use that just to stop there. I think that was beautiful. That was a lovely way.
I need to go to the toilet for the last hour and a half.
You've done well. Thanks so much for your time, David.
You're welcome, son.
Cheers.
Hi folks, it's Richard here again. I really hope that you enjoyed today's show. Now listen, I've got 2 links to help support you on your property journey, and I want you to write these down when it's safe to do so. You might be driving in your car just now listening to the podcast, and that's fine, but please make sure that you get back to this and write down these links. Okay, are you ready? Got your pen in hand? So the first one, thisweekinproperty.com. Now that's the website for this podcast. On there, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss out. What you can also do on there is catch up on tons and tons of past episodes. There are hours and hours of property related content and some amazing guests with some fantastic insights to help you on your property journey. So that is thisweekinproperty.com. Okay, next link, propertyprotege.com. Now let me spell that one out for you. PROPERTY PROTEGE. That's propertyprotege.com. Now what's it all about? Well, the Property Protege Intensive is designed to give you the lift that you need into the world of property. And if you've already started, if you've already got some experience, then this can help you accelerate your progress even further. The experiences that people have had at Protege and the success that they've achieved afterwards has been life-changing for many people. So go there right now if you're serious about property and if you want to build a highly successful property business. That's propertyprotege.com. So there you go. That's 2 links to some fantastic resources that are going to help you. And listen, talking about help, can you help me to help other people? You see, the more that we can share this podcast, then more people can learn from the fantastic guests that I've been so lucky to talk to. How can you help? Well, it's very simple and very quick. Just a short review on iTunes is going to help make that happen. If you go to thisweekinproperty.com/iTunes, that will guide you to the very place that you will be able to help other people. So thank you. Thanks for doing that, and thanks for listening into the show. And I look forward to bringing another great guest to you in the next show.